Let's bring in now One Nation leader Pauline Hanson. Now, Pauline, you've been calling for decades now to lower the immigration rate. This is something Peter Dutton has outlined this evening. He hasn't quite put a figure, although we have heard before that he's indicated he'd like to see between 140 and 160,000 migrants come to Australia. Do you think this will be a very popular area for voters for him?
Most definitely. I think if he looks at 140, 160,000, that'll be fine. We're targeting 130,000 until we actually rein in the oversupply of migrants we've had come in Australia. It's put such a strain on our infrastructure and our housing. It's very important to lower it for a few years till we can manage it a lot better. So if he reduces that, all he said was reducing it by 25%, but from what figure? So immigration is one of the biggest issues that is affecting Australians because of the housing, and we don't have housing for Australians here. I was pleased to see that he picked up my policy about reducing the excise tax on fuel, because that was my policy I released in February. So he's picked that up, which I'm pleased about. The housing issue, yes, he's right. The Labor government haven't built one house, the $10 billion fund. But if Peter Dutton's wanting to get rid of the $20 billion into rewiring Australia and other aspects of it, the hydrogen, why not get rid of the climate department? We don't need it. Why didn't he say to get out of the Paris Agreement? This is destroying our country, our prosperity, and I think that we need to really look at that. And this is the difference with One Nation. We will hold them to account. If the Labor gets back in government with the Greens, which I hope they don't, because they have destroyed our economy and the future of this nation, but we will hold them to account, whereas we will also hold the Liberal Party to account. Now, I think that Peter Dutton delivered a very good speech, his Future for Australia, but they have to be held to account that they will deliver it, and One Nation will do that.
Pauline, I just want to pick up there on when you said that it was actually your policy to have a petrol fuel excise, petrol price relief. I didn't realise that was your policy. How do you think voters will receive that compared with the tax cut? Because we know that Labor's going to go out there and say that the coalition has voted against a tax cut. They voted against cost of living relief. That'll be the line that the Prime Minister says every single day of the election campaign. So, you know, do you think voters are going to understand that the fuel excise would be worth more in their pocket, depending on where they live and if they have a car, than the tax cut?
Yep. Labor is going to be very good at their campaigning and their advertising to get it across Australians that, and they did this with the Medicare Scare campaign last time around. So what they're already putting out, the advertising is the Libs want to cut your education, cut your health, but they don't want to cut your tax relief. So this is the scare campaign that's already going out there. So I think that Dutton, they passed the budget measures last night, but they didn't agree to the tax cuts. The stupid part about it, they should have actually seen that. They've given the Labor government ammunition to use against them in their advertising coming up to this election. That's all in the minds of people. We want tax relief. We want to have relief from the cost of living. And it's going to be hard for them to get the message across. Labor do far better in marketing. So that's why I supported the tax cuts. Yes, we do need tax cuts, but One Nation has put out there to income split, which will save a household, you know, far better money if they looked at that and cut back your government spending.
Yeah, all right. Pauline Hanson, really appreciate you joining us on this big news night tonight. Thank you for your time. And I think she's right. Labor is better at retail politics, at least at the moment, than the current front bench. But we'll see